Reginald staying alive. Don't worry, we got him.
Draven, first ban there against the Wild Turtle. Not too surprising.
Right.
He's gone very aggressive with that.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the biggest lane bullies there are. That's how he likes to play the bottom lane. So definitely taking away that from him is a good choice. Meanwhile, Mandatory Clouds in Italy, we talk about all the time.
Right.
Love seeing people catch his spears. They
Absolutely.
seem to always love receiving.
Absolutely. Everybody makes sure they get their gloves, they get the hand glue, they get ready. It's like little giants, right? You suck them up, you get them all ready, and you can't even get them apart. That's what Mandatory Cloud does to you with those spears. I remember somebody saying you should literally make a pie in the face in Italy skin because it would be fantastic.
That would be pretty good. Diana coming out
Yep.
for a second ban from TSM. I do like that one too because he's played a lot of her, and she's really become popular as a split pushing AP that some people play top as well. So maybe even aiming that at Psycho Sid. The Elise ban has not come through yet, and it looks like they're going to let it through. So I don't know if Psycho Sid will want to get that early or will want to get that later. You can kind of pick that at any point in the game because she's so versatile.
Well, it's a little bit about, I think, TSM being able to put Dyrus anywhere, right? The 1v1 or the 2v1. His champion pool is pretty solid. Like we say, he doesn't reach out to many things, as Jet says. He plays what's really on the bandwagon, but he plays it super well. So for them to just say, you know, if we give him Elise, I feel perfectly fine against him, could be their strategy.
It's interesting they banned out Malphite too, because that would be one that Dyrus does play.
Yes.
But he would not seek out to pick that unless they're thinking of a counter strategy to what Vulcan is playing right now. So maybe they have something they really don't want that hard initiate to come from a Malphite from Dyrus here. And they're hovering over the Jace is actually a pretty good pick for any mobile comp. That acceleration gate just can move everybody so quickly.
Well, you see a Nasus on the team, right? And I was going to say, yeah, the acceleration gate is going to be able to help everybody, because if you choose a Nasus, somebody else is going to be able to follow up that hard crowd control. But it looks like Team Solo Mid says, well, we'll hover around, but we're going to lock in Thresh and Varus. Second time today that somebody's locked in 80 support right away.
I do like the pick against the first pick Nasus because that Wither's going to land on your AD carry. I mean, he's going to get an end game, and it will destroy a lot of the attack speed based carries. Varus has a lot of abilities that he's able to use to put out a lot of damage too, so it won't hit him quite as hard. And then the Thresh is always an amazing pick. We've seen so many people last night in OGN. They were having these red elixir Threshes that were just beasting their lanes. They killed MacNoon 2 times over with the Thresh lane. It was really a sight to behold, so we'll have to see if X-Special picks up on that as well.
Not only was it MacNoon dying, it was Kennen dying. Absolutely terrible for the League of Legends scene. Kennen dying. But no, here we go. Xmithy picking up possible Sona here if they choose to go with that. And it really have to wonder what these teams consider. Like, guys, we should probably get a good level 1 comp because it has been hellacious today at level 1.
Yeah, and I have to see if people pick up a lot of red elixirs level 1 too, because like we saw, 3 level 1 red elixirs pop for complexity, and it totally paid off. They destroyed CLG in that level 1 team fight. Those are amazing things to have, and if you're going to be invading, why not? Yeah,
you have to use those early things. Speaking of using the early things, I was looking on Twitter, and Chat and I were talking about, you know, the biscuit use, and it was said that, you know, the potion can't be used with the biscuit, and also that there may be an LCS record that Nintendo held onto it for 16 minutes.
You never wanted to let that one go. It might have gotten a little moldy in his pocket. That reminds me of like Napoleon Dynamite having the food in his pocket.
Yep. Just hold on to it. It can come in handy. You see some map presence possibly being picked out here. Dyrus, like we said, playing those champions that are strong. And we kind of said it before, nobody's like a super Shen player, right? Everybody, you can kind of play Shen, but some people can play him really well. Nobody focuses on him.
I liked his Shen play last week too. It was so crisp. Every time they have his ultimate available, they went to look for a play. They were like, okay, go super aggressive right now. We're going to teleport in on you. It's going to work out great. So Varus is actually pretty good at baiting as well. So that could be a really good combo. We saw I'mACutiePie do this with Kiwi Kid top. He was playing in the middle with the Varus, and he pulled off a lot of really good baits with that Shen ulti.
So just a reminder here, Bloodwater now on Vulcan for this matchup, as there are some swaps going around with the teams in the last few days, and it really has, I think it comes down to, you know, on a side note, Dignitas and Team Solo Mid rather, Dignitas and Curus, besides Kiwi Kid for Dig, in the beginning of the year, they're the most solid teams coming into the LCS now. And sometimes we saw with GGU, or not GGU rather, we saw coming in, Complexity was able to win with that roster swap. So maybe it's helping these teams.
It's all these bottom 4 teams have made recent roster switches, it feels like they're kind of like, oh my God, the police are chasing us. These challenger teams are coming really quick. I don't have to outrun them. I just have to be faster than you.
Exactly.
I don't have to win the race. I just have to be faster than you.
Exactly.
So that challenger teams eat you and kick you out.
You just stick your foot out and trip them down as you get into the finish line. Awesome. We see Vladimir, no less, picked on Bloodwater. Not obviously going to be support, but selecting that in for his team.
Freak would
we
have a
also
field
have
day.
the Deathmaster himself, Karthus, coming out, the Lich King. And we could have a Zed lock in here. We have heard Reginald has expanded his pool. Obviously, he does play 80 casters, but Zed has been a new one as they hover that, and Malzahar right now.
Yeah, like Prolly was just saying, what would you do against a Malzahar in mid? Nobody knows? Well,
yeah, right?
Hover
He's
over
like,
it
nobody
for a
knows how to
while.
play against Ziggs. See what
Maybe
happens.
make them second guess. I doubt they'll lock that in, though. The Zed hover would be a little bit more likely. Reggie's a big fan of Zed, and no wonder. He's got amazing burst damage. He can shove lanes really easily. Quite versatile right now, if you know how to play him well. He has a very high skill cap, though.
Ooh, we haven't seen this for quite some time. There was that week where I think it was Link and Reginald just continuously picking out Xerath, and then he kind of became Pogs and fizzled out for a little bit. And you know what? People got some new slammers. They want back in with Xerath.
He's a really interesting champion, and Reggie plays him very aggressively, like he plays most champions. He uses the ultimate cooldown pretty much every time it's up. Even though he was not able to always burst someone from 100 to 0 and get a kill, he was at least able to lower someone enough that they had to recall, and then they would take an objective. So you would almost get an objective for free just using that ultimate cooldown, sending someone back to base. We'll have to see if they try and do that again. There's not a lot of hard CC for Team Vulcan. They're just really relying on that crescendo sort of counter-initiate. Karthus's wall is just a little bit of a slow. It got some nerfs, so it doesn't reduce as much as it used to. AoE CC is so incredibly important in the level 1s. So we'll have to see if TSM are going to come out and invade. They're coming out pretty close together, so they might.
Here we are, Game 3 of the day. Rivington III and Kobe bringing it to you live here for the North American LCS. We still have one more game after this, so don't go anywhere. Our first two matches of the day have been absolutely on fire with action, and we're looking for this game to present the same as well.
I like this. TSM not hesitating to invade. They recognize the Vulcan comp, and they want to take advantage very early, not give them any breathing room to start collecting that money.
So in and out, the way that Vulcan plays the wards actually gives them the vision they need here. But 2 wards for Team Solo Mid makes me think that they may want to go back in on this blue. It's very focused on what's going to happen mid here.
Yeah, and they can definitely keep up the pressure. Odd One on Xin Sao. Odd One's not really known for that aggressive jungling style. St. Vicious is always fairly critical of him, saying that he needs to be more aggressive and he needs to heads up 1 versus 1 a lot more. But they've played this level 1 pretty well. They have vision. Both teams actually have vision of the other's blue, so it looks like it'll be a fairly normal start after everyone taking a little sojourn through the jungle.
They get back the Dorans to the Elixir in the bottom lane as well. 6 pots for Wild Turtle, as we are going to see Zuna coming in with Sona on support from Bloodwater, so he'll be able to get those heals. He doesn't have to worry about chugging down those potions in lane just as much. It actually does look like we're getting a swap as I see Wild Turtle and Special start to head towards that top lane.
Yeah, that purple team swap is pretty common. Vladimir also picked up a potion with that Doran shield, so that means he went a little bit utility, grabbing that extra money, so it's not going to be quite as bad as I thought it was. At least he does have some sustain, and he's going to have that constant regen from the Doran shield as well. We'll have to see how that plays out.
We'll see what he chooses to do in lane. Odd One with the gap closer on Xin. Probably he's going to force Psycho Sid into those boots before he can continually build that revolver and keep himself strong in lane. But here comes the 2v1. We'll see how he does up top. Mandatory Cloud already taking quite a bit of poke here, chugging down on those mana potions in mid.
Even more interesting build here on Psycho Sid. He's taken the mastery and utility that gives you 3% lifesteal and 3% spell vamp. Zuna going very aggressive on that level 1 though.
A few shots to Dyrus using that rocket jump damage as well as pushing him out. Dyrus on that 3rd potion down, so he continues to chug himself, and TSM has really just positioned themselves for having a ton of health in lane from those potions. They're not really worried about taking too much damage at this point.
Every time you have the purple team do the 2 versus 1 swap, you have to expect this very aggressive jungle invade on the top side here, and they're going to collapse onto Smithy.
Absolutely, those wards proving useful. You can see both of them there. This is also going to push ManCloud to lose a blue buff on the next time around. TSM usually does not, well, I'm not going to say it will, but TSM does usually not give up on timers once they have them.
Yeah, this is a good start for TSM, exactly what I was talking about. They have to keep up the pressure early game because Vulcan have a very late game team composition.
Bloodwater and Zuna doing just that, poking Dyrus, poking the turret with a beautiful poke composition. Sona, Tristana in that bottom lane. Like you said, not even having the long-range attack of Tristana lately, it just falls into the hands of Bloodwater now. And so far, they are giving Dyrus quite a hard time. He's keeping up in CS, but still, that is going to plague him for quite some time. As Psycho Sid is getting the same medicine top with a death sentence on, only going to be a bit of poke.
We also have to note that Mandatory Cloud doing really well in the CS here versus Reginald mid, but they took all 3 of the small camps at level 1. Vulcan were spread out. Nasus soloed the Wraiths, while his top laner and mid laner did the Wolves. And they got a little bit of an extra boost here. That's where you can see some of the extra gold coming from.
And we see Smithy forced to put some money into the mana potions. Not going to hurt him too much, but he is struggling. He's not able to get an early stone. He's not able to get that early regen. He does have his red buff, and he's going into an actual side of the jungle that has nothing to farm for him. For right now, he's really on the edge of searching, or getting behind, rather.
Odd1 heading bottom here. Just going to help Dyrus clear something out. He does have flash. He could flash taunt, but they would only really be trading summoners. So Odd1's just going to come in, help him clear out some waves, and relieve pressure on that turret.
So Smithy, actually knowing that his jungle's clear, isn't going to even go up here to put up pressure. He's just going up to soak up the experience, kind of put TSM back off of Psycho Sid.
Mirroring those strategies, both junglers just going to the lanes to try and even out those 2 versus 1s.
Yeah. See if they can keep it up, 15 to 16, as the CS actually all around is staying quite even. No real aggression on the health bars either, so it looks like TSM and Vulcan are both trying to feel each other out here in this early game.
And we still have those 2 red elixirs on TSM. They're holding them in their inventory, haven't decided to go aggressive quite yet.
Odd1 can actually spend quite a while down there, and he is still with the Odd1. Once they see that Nasus is top, they don't really have to worry about his roam, but it looks like he could be going for Reginald mid here. Flash and Ignite are up, and ManCloud only has the wall. He goes, actually uses that siege. He pops, actually wasn't in siege, so he gets out of that one with a flash. I thought he was going to be able to use the movement speed, but has to waste it.
Oh, Dyrus on bottom.
The rocket jump in. Can he get the last attack? The pop-up from 3 Talon. He gets in, he pops the red, and it so keeps him alive. Can the Odd1 get out? That will be a great save by the Odd1 there.
Ooh, very close. That last 3 Talon strike knocking him up just in time, but here comes Smithy. He's going to be a little bit too late. The Odd1 will get caught.
The Odd1 will not be able to make it out, and that is ManCloud presence from mid with Requiem.
Those level 1 wolves that Mandatory Cloud and Psycho Sid shared just paid off right there. He hit level 6, boom, there comes the ultimate after that level.
5. So that, yeah, you are absolutely correct. That just pushed him over the edge, instantly hit it, and he slammed his face against the keyboard to get that kill. 1-0 now, 6 minutes, 30 seconds in. That's going to give him a K gold lead here as they go now to pressure the turrets. This is where Vulcan could find themselves getting a bit weary. Once they pressure this turret, they may spread themselves thin. That's kind of where we saw GGU start to falter.
Look at all the wards coming out from TSM. They have 4 members now placing wards. They need to get some advantage back. They just lost their bottom turret as well as the first blood. They're going to have to make something happen here because their team is supposed to have the early game advantage, and they're losing already.
A Biet sword quickly picked up here by Zuna, as well as Wild Turtle. So it looks like Zuna going after that build as well. A good stun up, puts down the wall, but he's not going to be able to trade too much damage. Reginald throwing out the ulti just to harass.
Yeah, it was really fortunate that Reggie wasn't, that they ganked Reggie right before Mandatory Cloud hit 6-2, because Reggie has a stun. He could actually stun and stop the ultimate from Karthus, but he was forced to recall because he was playing without his flash after that gank from Smithy.
I believe the blue went down around 3 minutes, so TSM still has some time to make their way over there, switch it up, and steal that back away from Vulcan. We'll see if that works for them. Like I said, TSM usually keeps quite good time on their enemy camp buff timers. So
I like the wards from Vulcan too, because if TSM does go over to try and steal the blue again, then they can position themselves to steal a dragon instead. You trade a blue for a dragon, you'll take that any day, even though you have Karthus. He's got a Tear of the Goddess. He won't suffer too much without his blue.
8 minutes in here. Like we said, it's only 1-0. Definitely slowing down the pace we've had today so far. Vulcan coming into this one now with Bloodwater, and we'll see what kind of shot calling really gives them an advantage, or if it does give them an advantage as we see the objectives come into play here. We'll see that within the next 5 minutes. We do see Psycho Sid going for that build we expected, the revolver right after the shield, trying to keep that vamp up. He's at level 6. 7 and 9 are the ones we said are going to be good for him. Again, Reginald just trying to throw out the ultimate. There goes the exhaust down. That did not put the wall up, and here comes Dyrus in with the Shen taunt. Odd One just waiting in the wing as well, and Mandatory Cloud is forced out the death sentence. Oh, it looks like Wild Turtle picks himself up a red.
What a shot from Xpecial right there. Death sentence indeed, killing Mandatory Cloud, and they get a free dragon after this. No one was going to steal it. Xpecial also drops down the pink ward earlier, so they cleared out the vision. There won't be a steal either, and Reggie's roaming top to try and clear that. Really, really good comeback from TSM.
So, like, I kind of brought this up. Vulcan took down the bottom turret. They didn't spread themselves thin, but they didn't pressure that. They didn't push them back to the second turret, so Dragon would have been more of an advantage. They let themselves be acted on after getting an advantage, and they lost Dragon for it.
And that was just decisive play from TSM.
Right.
As soon as the engage stopped, Reggie made the call. He said, okay, we need the Shen ultimate on me. I'm getting a lot of damage. And Xpecial started roaming immediately. He made his way all the way from bottom. He was clearing the wards around Dragon when the call was made, so he got right up there in time, was able to land the perfect death sentence on a Mandatory Cloud.
And that looks like with that Dragon, they will go ahead and say you guys can have your own blue. They pick up the global gold. Now within 300, a deficit for TSM. Vulcan holding just that tiny, tiny lead. The Spirit Stone, as we see now coming out onto Xmithy, the Madrids for Odd One, so they're kind of leveled in the jungle there. Both are 6, ready to get those ultimates underway. Sight Stone's being picked up by the supports, and I haven't seen the second item for Zuna yet. I'm guessing Infinity Edge for Trist, and we already see that build coming in for Wild Turtle.
Yeah, Tristana definitely want to get that Infinity Edge very quickly. Right now, he's maxing his explosive shot for the laning phase. He'll probably be going with that rapid fire second. That's what Zuna usually builds
with the Infinity Edge,
because he likes to time it with the completion of the Infinity Edge.
He's actually just talked about this last game, and Jat said, you know, Wild Turtle was one of the exceptions to not go with that Bloodthirster build. Now, he may still choose to if he just finds himself, you know, a brick of money sitting in his hands and the game is getting tight, but looks like he's going to go for that Infinity Edge right away. Turtle missing the ultimate, and cleansed by Zuna, so extra safe.
Some good burst there from Bloodwater too. Actually, Turtle's got to watch himself right now. Smithy's in the middle, but Reggie's got his flash up once again, so he shouldn't be in too much trouble. There, the invade on this blue side is effective because they have taken that early turret, and they're spreading the vision. Now they're going to get behind Turtle and Xpecial.
Smithy coming. Where's the Wither going to go? Onto the 80 carry, and it's cleansed out, but the Crescendo holds strong. They take down Xpecial. 2-1 now. It's Reginald again going hard on Mandatory Cloud and mid, but it's like these guys, they have just cut their nails and they don't have enough to really scratch through the skin yet.
Oh, he was trying to make Mandatory Cloud pay for that ultimate, but he was unable to. Now he can at least shove the lane, but they're losing in gold once again.
Mandatory Cloud going up, trying to get that relic into so he can get some mana back on top of that blue buff. Back to holding down this lane with Xmithy. Reginald looks to back. Who is going to finish that first core item up in this game? We're about 12 minutes in. That average item coming around 13 minutes, and it looks like they're kind of just waiting this one out. Reginald stays in mid, goes ahead and throws his ward down first. He's going to try to poke out Mandatory Cloud here a bit.
So Vulcan just used their global ultimate with that Karthus. That's going to be down for another 100 seconds, but Dyrus on Shen, Stand United just came back up, so now it's really TSM's turn to try and make a big play with their global. We'll see if they can answer.
Both Reginald and ManCloud just kind of have equal pushing power here. The lane is really never in one or the other's face. Xmithy looks to make that a change, though. And he makes me a liar as well as he holds off on the side. I think Reginald has just seen him there, and you can see the wariness as he pulls back.
So right now we have Xpecial and Wild Turtle both in the bottom lane. Wild Turtle is just holding the lane, CSing. They either need to shove that lane really hard or send Xpecial roaming. As they send him mid, it's a little bit too late. Reggie might get tower dove.
Oh, Reggie almost out of mana on this one. Can he get the last attacks off? It's not going to be enough for Mandatory Cloud. The Ignite's on, but so is an HP. No, it is not an HP pot. He wasn't grabbing anything back, but that was the mana coming in. So my bad, and the kill for Reggie.
Yep, that's pretty good. They end up trading that, but it's going to be the mid turret taking a lot of damage as well. Zuna hitting on it right now. His range is not too much right now because Tristana has to wait. She scales up her range with her level. Going to have to wait till around 18 or so when you hit that maximum range and you can really destroy towers. Smithy going top to just fend off Dyrus and the Odd One.
Psycho Sid just getting that transfusion on. A little bit of damage onto Dyrus. He can keep that harass there. Dyrus is stand united down now. This is the window Vulcan has to be knowledgeable of. If they don't use this to their advantage, they're really not going to make too much happen. See if there's any more roam. Bloodwater trying to hold mid here, and you can see the effectiveness of Bloodwater. Usually would be with a support, but he's holding the lane by himself in mid.
Yeah, and he's probably making a call pretty soon because Mandatory Cloud's ultimate is coming up very soon. They've made a lot of plays with this Requiem where they time their aggression with the cooldown of this Karthus ultimate. Maybe they'll get something off here soon. It looks like Odd One's waiting to camp up here in top for Psycho Sid.
Just waiting for Wither Wall Crescendo. It's the combination that keeps playing in my head every time TSM gets near a turret, and it's gonna have to be hit. Gap closer from Dyrus on Shen, gap closer from Odd One on Shin Zhao. These guys are looking to get in your face, so if you can't get that Crescendo down right away, they're already on top of your team.
It looks like everyone's going to recall right now for Vulcan. Everyone in the bottom. So once they purchase, they'll be able to make a move.
Psycho Sid playing so wary in the top lane here. I think Reginald taking his blue buff there. His special gives him a little nice guy assistance. 15 minutes into this one, just about 3-2. One of our slower games of the day, but definitely more methodical than the rest. They are finding ways to, you know, beat around the bush here and finding ways to just kind of get around the fight before starting it.
All right, so Mandatory Cloud is going to scale up ridiculously from this point on. He's got his tier already stacking, and he just completed a 14-minute Rod of Ages. So at the 24-minute mark, that will be fully stacked, and he will really start hurting. He's already been very successful with his Requiems. It's only going to get worse for TSM here. We said at the beginning, this late game team comp from Vulcan is just going to get more scary.
Really, I said there's that window that they fight in with Dyrus' ultimate. That's there for Mandatory Cloud as well. It's not many times you have that global presence from both teams that they have to be aware of on the map, and it really will start to show late game who forgot about it.
Both AD carries with the Infinity Edge right now, so they're about even. The next dragon going to come up, or it is up right now, so we'll have to see which team feels more confident. Of course, Vulcan have that turret down, so they inherently have a small advantage in the bottom side of this map.
Around some of the items, the Infinity Edges are finished with the red elixirs just on the back side of that, and it looks like Xpecial is going for the Biscuit hold record as well as he's coming up on 60 minutes with it.
We've got 10 seconds left on the Stand United from Dyrus. As soon as that comes up, then TSM might want to make a play for that dragon. It looks like Xpecial already going to clear out the vision around it, and they want to set this up for a 4 versus 5 and trade the dragon for maybe that top turret, just allow Psycho Sid to stay up there and farm.
Now let's watch how TSM really gets into this fight. We're not going to have Vlad here, but like I said, once TSM figures out that Vulcan just has a you have to bunch up composition when we initiate, they're just going to spread every time Vulcan gets in range. Right now they're kind of keeping Reggie on the backside with that range from Xerath. Going for the pokes. They put themselves in a line there so they can't all be stunned at once. They're just coming at this like a wall. Beautiful initiation there. The Crescendo goes back across, and it looks like Zuna's able to stay on the outside and put in the damage. A great zone by Mandatory Cloud. Nick Smithy, they go for Reggie here, but the jump may have not been enough. He flashes for the double. He has the jump to go in for the triple, but it's going to be going on to Mandatory Cloud. Full house. It's going to be Mad Clouds over Zuna.
They just aced TSM without Psycho Sid being there.
Yeah.
Psycho Sid was just trying to beat on Dyrus in the top lane. Dyrus finally said, okay, I'm staying united. They're not even doing Dragon. They're going straight from Dragon over to Baron. This is a 17-minute Baron by Vulcan already. That ace just came out of nowhere, and they are capitalizing on it.
And that is scary for Team Solo Mid. They had a great initiation coming into that until they collapsed under the Crescendo. They went parallel with it, and they just got hit 3 straight. That's where it came out. Zuna was on the backside. Kobe, the Baron, 17 minutes in, 8-2, and a 6,000 gold lead.
Karthus, one of the most beastly AP mids to have for an early Baron. That level 5 lay waste just destroys single targets.
Coming into this now, big buys. We actually see a needlessly large rod, finished boots, and the ability tome coming out for Psycho Sid in that purchase alone. Finally, everybody else picking up boots. Zuna didn't even really have them coming into that, and neither did Bloodwater. They got in and out of that fight great with really the least amount of movement possible.
All right, TSM get the consolation prize. They'll get a free dragon off the back of that one, but that is not going to make them happy.
Turret goes down as well, so it looks like as they grab that, closing the gap, the gold lead to about a 4,000 deficit for them. And at 18 minutes. Man, Vulcan is really starting to put the pressure back on. This is what they needed. That fight is what's going to give them the catalyst to keep taking these turrets down, because they were losing it a bit.
They're shoving mid. They don't even have Tristana with them. They bullied out TSM. They have 4 people shoving mid. They don't even have their AD carry. They get a free turret here. TSM definitely on the back foot. Now Tristana coming in, and with the Baron buff and a Sona, their regen is ridiculous. They can just siege up and stay there forever.
Bloodwater definitely making an impact in these calls. Like we said, we saw him in mid for quite some time just a few minutes ago as they go to siege this turret. Smithy getting taunted on, a few turret shots to him, and he is face tanking this turret right now. His ultimate is up, so he's just waiting. The Hemoplague goes down. ManCloud ultimate 2 seconds from being up here. They are not going to use that as it won't multiply the damage from Hemoplague, and they back off for now.
So they took a large chunk out of several members of Vulcan right there, but like I said, Baron buff plus Sona, they're regenerating very quickly. Mandatory Cloud also popping a potion. They want to stay here, and Dyrus is already walking back from that fountain, so he's at full life once again. Reggie almost going down.
That's the Ignite ticking down. Oh no, it's going to be Explosive Shot actually ticking down onto that one. He gets the kill, the second one coming in, or on the turret rather, I should say. Getting all excited here as the kills come up, but it's just a turret.
The Requiem does come out, but it's not going to catch anybody because he did go down to that explosive shot. They're going on to the inhibitor turret already, 19 minutes in.
Smithy being that tank for the turret. It's going to be actually onto Psycho Sid right now, and you can see Zuna just on the backside crushing down. Now going for the inhibitor. That 20-minute inhibitor going to be in favor of Vulcan, and the fresh teams just look to be thwarting these top teams of the LCS right now. Vulcan controlling the game.
It looks like these roster changes are really working out for the underdog teams here. This is an amazing display by Vulcan. They picked a very late game team comp, but since they got so many early kills with their coordination with the Requiem, they just upped the late game to 20 minutes. That's easy.
So as they make their way, this is now just kind of stop the push time for Vulcan. They're going to clean out these, do what they need. Do they have the purchases? Archangel's staff actually coming out for Mandatory Cloud as he finishes that one up. The Oracle's 20 minutes in already. I'd say they're looking for an objective. They already have it.
Definitely. There's no Dragon, there's no Baron. There's a lot of turrets up though. Vulcan could go top or bottom right now. Pretty much whatever they feel like going, they could just roll on. They're only going to get stronger from here on. Look at this Karthus. He's already completed his Archangel's staff, and it is giving him 78 ability power, that 3% of your maximum mana, doing work already because he's been stacking his Tira so early, and his Rod of Ages has another 3 minutes left to finish stacking.
Reginald 20 minutes in, he actually just bought the Blasting Wand, but he has definitely choked on a build we would see Reginald at right now. The Archangels and the Rod of Ages finished in for Mandatory Cloud to the Athenes, and a bit of ability power on the side there with a bag of chips.
There's a little hope there from TSN. They did just finish the Runic Bulwark, so that's going to help out a lot with all this AoE magic damage. A good call there by Odd1 rushing that item because there's so much magic damage on this Vulcan team. You really need that item. The only thing is, Zuna's so fed. He's finished his Infinity Edge plus Phantom Dancer combo.
Can't even get it out. Speechless.
The Infinity Dancer combo. Just ridiculous.
The Infinity Dance is indeed. Zonia's as well finished up top. The Seraph's Embrace coming out for Mandatory Cloud as his items just upgrading themselves off the wall right now. And what will they choose to go in onto this next fight? Psycho Sid could really make some plays here. He's got double invulnerability with Sanguine Pool as well as that Zonia's Hourglass, so they could really play some tricks here onto TSM.
This turret is just melting, and there's not a lot that TSM can do about it. They land the hook, but still.
That's the box. Slowing them all down, but they flash through the box. Completely exploding Special. No chance there. Smethy tries to get in. That is going to be another kill. The Requiem comes in on top of the Hemoplague. The Hemoplague just wore off, unfortunately, but they do pick up two as Smithy limps out. Going in, more kills. Odd1 goes down. They are just not stopping. Vulcan is taking over Team Solomid's base. What is going on right now? Team Solomid cannot even respond to this.
Bloodwater, not just a shot caller, also a playmaker right there. The flash crescendo, beautiful. And Zuna does go down to Dyrus.
Wow, coming out with some damage. Reginald on the outside trying to go up and get his stuns out so Dyrus can recharge that energy. They can keep them cycling through the base. Vulcan is going to go back and try to clear out the jungle and clear out what they can. Team Solo Mid now to do the same.
Look how little damage they did to that top turret. They weren't worried about the turret at all. They are just bloodthirsty, going for kills after kills. Zuna wanted the resets. He got a few of them, but then finally gets canceled out by Dyrus there, catching him up.
These fights are not with Baron, and it isn't. It's 38,000, so we'll say it's about 9,000 gold lead right now in favor of Vulcan. 23 minutes into this game, Vulcan TSM in Game 3 of Week 8. Like I said, every game has been on fire, and this one is to please as well.
So TSM really have to be looking for a catch right now. They're very far behind, so they need to have the numbers advantage in order to get some kind of gold lead back. If they're able to catch someone out, they can land a hook, and if Xpecial gets himself into a bad situation, Dyrus can stand united when his ultimate does come back up. So they have decent options if they are able to land some kind of catching a member of Vulcan out, and for that they're going to need a lot of wards. Their vision is going to be very hard for them to get back though, because they have absolutely no map control.
Is it a way to, affect the Shen? Obviously, they're working within the window right now, but they're pressuring these fights over and over and over again. Why isn't Dyrus split pushing and trying to spread Vulcan thin?
They're just so far behind right now that Vulcan can send 4 out of 5 members over to kill Dyrus. So Dyrus has to be very careful even when split pushing. He's not really going to be able to push anyone out of that lane. And Vulcan, they can really go wherever they want. They just pick up a free dragon, now they'll keep on shoving, and with that inhibitor down, it means that any lane they're not in is also going to passively be shoving.
There is some Xmithy getting taunted there, but the crowd control just kind of pushed off by the Merc Treads. That tenacity on Xmithy just lets him laugh it off. Reginald again trying to throw out the ultimates via Harassi. Locket of the Iron Solari was burst there by Xmithy, but they're just staying safe right now.
That's 2 big ultimates down for TSM now. They don't have the Chain of Corruption or the Arcane Barrage from Reginald or the Stand United from Dyrus. It's really going to be hard for them to hold on to this turret.
They're just giving TSM so many things to think about that wall, but look at TSM now on the approach for the engagement. He misses the taunt. That's going to be a good, not waste of energy, but he'll be waiting to refuel that one back up and could find himself, I was going to say, in a tunnel vision spot quite quick.
Top turret taking so much damage. All this time that they're spending down bottom, minions have been just destroying TSM's top turret.
It's like they're going to try for their own blue here. Baron is back up, and it looks like Vulcan is hauling that way.
They've got a nice pink ward in here for Vulcan, so they know that there's nothing inside for TSM, and TSM have to retreat to their base. Their inhibitor's going to go down to minions if they don't, and their top turret took a lot of pressure, so this should basically be a free Baron for Vulcan.
Here we go, going onto it. Bloodwater making another call. Let's go for Baron. That inhibitor's going down. The entire team now probably getting their voice in on these fights, so everything goes well. They are stacking the crowd controls accordingly. We'll have to see what items this gives them. They have a safe back, a safe buy, not a reset with that 4 minutes of Baron.
All right. Mandatory Cloud has a fully upgraded Seraph's Embrace now. He's done stacking that tier, so he's going to also have an extra shield on top of the 356 ability power that he has accrued with his fully stacked Rod of Ages.
And everybody's getting into the game here with the pink wards. We see Xmithy as well as Bloodwater picking up some more. They do have the Oracle still roaming around as well. So they're pretty much at this point in the game, it does come down to the fact that you're fighting with wards at the same time you're fighting with your abilities.
Right now, Vulcan can just make a beeline right for that open inhibitor. There's no way that TSM want to contest an inhibitor fight. They have to have at least a turret helping them out to have any chance over here. The other thing would be if they just flash engaged on some solo member of Vulcan. But really, Vulcan are just collapsing right now. They're not going to make that mistake. They're not going to split and make those new team mistakes where somebody goes off and farms top by themselves. So it's really looking dire for TSM.
It's very interesting when you see the faces of Vulcan go across your screen. It really is calm. They are just really patiently waiting this one out and doing everything they need to. Small blurbs coming from, Bloodwater, and then they make moves. That was the inhibitor, and they back off. It's just very confident play from Vulcan right now, and definitely new.
They could actually face tank this top turret if they even felt like it. They're so far ahead that it wouldn't do that much. Dyrus trying to make something happen for TSM down in this bottom lane. He's doing what he should do. He's trying to split push, but that's an outer turret. They haven't even killed a single turret in the bottom lane yet, so it's going to be a little bit of global gold if they are able to take that down. Meanwhile, their top turret, their top inhibitor turret, under so much pressure, Zuna can probably kill that within one rapid fire.
Dyrus in that bottom lane. His stand united to the top lane is just under 3 minutes, so that split push may not be able to happen too much after this. Bloodwater getting a quick heal there, and it looks like he may go down. No, he actually draws it out, very Elements-esque, and just taking every cooldown from the other team and staying alive, baiting it out. The turret's theirs. Now they're going for the next inhibitor here, Kobe. Mid and top inhibitor now down. That Chaos Chain used and wasted. They are not able to work off of that one. Special can't get the toss in. The box used as well. They're using everything as it seems like they just think they can win this fight, but Vulcan turning it around now. Odd One taking a lot of damage. They haven't killed anybody yet. It's just tit for tat so far. Wild Turtle gets out as well. They are able to shut down Bloodwater. How is Vulcan the first to die in this fight? 1 for 1 so far, actually. Mandatory Cloud dying after the Requiem, and Zuna picks up Dyrus, and the 2 for 2 just scrap fest.
Yeah, so that went even because Bloodwater got caught out so early by Reggie taking a lot of damage, and then Wild Turtle following that up with a beautiful snipe. There was no crescendo in that fight, which is the only way that it went 2 for 2. Now Reggie getting withered behind the turret, gonna be able to scare them off, but Zuna doing work, finishes off that turret.
Yeah, 90% attack.
Oh!
That I just saw a beam of arcane light come from the sky and crush Zuna's face and hopes of getting out of that lane alive. 14-7, 30 minutes in, some plays being made left and right here. Reginald picking himself up some more gold after that, and he's still kind of hurting for items compared to what you're seeing on the other side.
TSM being the veteran team that they are, fighters till the end. They're not going to go down without a fight, and Vulcan really have to pull it together. They're really happy about their gigantic early lead, but they could still throw this right now. We've seen so many teams throw games back and forth when you thought they had won.
Warmogs now for Dyrus. On top of the Sunfire Cape, like we said, he's trying to get back into that split push position. He actually didn't have to stand united that last fight, so he's still good to split for push for his team. Not running teleport could be hurting them. I'm doing good in the later part of this game. I'm waiting for that engage. The spooky ghost coming out. I don't think it's going to be enough for the speed aura, but there's the slow cord. Can they continue on? I don't know if they're going to have enough damage to see this first Skittle. The second Skittle. All the Skittles for Dyrus, and he hates sugar.
Look at Bloodwater trying so hard to make plays happen. He has got the Shirelia's boost that he used to do there, plus the Twin Shadows ghost. He's like, yeah, we can totally chase this guy down. He's throwing little sound cords at him, does almost no damage. It was a really good try there, Bloodwater. I knew your heart was in the right place.
She was trying to yell stop to him, but she
that's
just couldn't.
Shen. That's Shen.
Yeah,
so he's not going to be able to take him down. Dyrus does get away.
And the Dragon goes down. Vulcan kind of just producing things all across the map is part of their team, also handling the top side here. So they are definitely in control. 30 minutes into this, 51,000 gold to 40,000 gold. Probably one of the biggest leads that a team has had versus TSM in the LCS. I'm not going to say that for sure, but it's also one of the bigger leads we've seen in general.
At 30 minutes, definitely. Look at that Nexus turret. Almost going to go. It does go down to minions, and they do engage.
The crescendo engage, and a lot of flashes going off here. Everybody trying to get out alive. The Odd One's going to get burst down. Zuna so strong from the back line right now. Special and Wild Turtle forced to sit off on the back as Dyrus dives in. They just cannot follow that front line, and Bloodwater is somehow still alive again in this fight. And once again, they take down the inhibitor, not even worrying about the turret. It's going to be the Nexus turrets as well, and most likely the Nexus Kobe.
With that team composition, it is going to be the Nexus. They go down. Congratulations to Vulcan. That team composition so late game,
oh my
you
gosh.
can't feed them early. They just ran away with it.